Dion, our guy, John Rostin, released his all Big 12 preseason first team and Big 12 player of the year last night. And he put a clip of this on his Twitter. You can go listen to it. I want to begin this by saying I love John Rothstein. Shout out to John Rothstein, Sleeper's follower. We've followed him for years, of course. He's John Rothstein. But about a month and a half ago, he started following us. I've never interacted with the guy. Hopefully, one day that can change. But we talk about Rothstein isms all the time because he's putting out great content. He's been crushing it this offseason doing the Inside College Basketball show and just constantly bringing great perspective to the sport. So he was going through all Big 12 nominations. And I thought I knew where he was headed because Rothstein's been carrying the torch for one of my favorite players all summer, Richie Saunders. And I was duped. I was wrong when he revealed his selections. Now, I will say, I'm not going to play the clip of this one because I'm going to play a different clip in a moment. But Rothstein led into the reveal of his team by saying this was the hardest he's ever had coming up with a preseason team. It was really something that was difficult for him to actually narrow down to 5 names. And ultimately, what changed his decision here when he announced this team was his realization that AJ DeBonsa and Darren Peterson are too special to leave off of a preseason team. And Rothstein says, point blank, normally I leave freshmen off of stuff like this. I tend to gravitate toward the returning players. Not this year. AJ and Darren are too special. So without further ado, John Rothstein's first team preseason all Big 12 team is reigning Big 12 Player of the Year JT Toppin, AJ DeBonsa, Darren Peterson, Houston's Emmanuel Sharp, who, as Rothstein notes, should be the best player on his pick to win the Big 12, and then PJ Haggerty, who Rothstein refers to as a returning All-American. So you look at his team on its own, no major issues with it. JT Toppin and PJ Haggerty are All-Americans. Yeah, they are. DeBonce and Peterson are special. If you think they're good enough, they got to be there. And then if you pick Houston to win the league, makes a lot of sense to have a Houston player there, whether it's Sharp or Milos Uzan or somebody. That's ultimately who Rothstein went with. This is why this is a conversation today for me, though, Dion. And again, I love John Rothstein. That's my guy. I don't know that I've ever tried to bring attention to something that I disagree with from Rothstein, but there's a first for everything, folks, because John Rothstein just recently, not too long ago, was campaigning for Richie Saunders as a first team all Big 12 caliber player. In fact, Rothstein's own words were that Richie Saunders feels like the forgotten piece. I am going to play a clip of John Rothstein from just over a month ago now. This was in the middle of June. This is John Rothstein talking about BYU's Richie Saunders.
Richie Saunders, a proven commodity in all Big 12 first team player, is a forgotten piece for the Cougars when people are talking BYU basketball and our next season. And this guy wasn't just somebody who was returning from a Sweet 16 team. This guy was a technician offensively in the NCAA tournament. 3 NCAA tournament games for Saunders, 22 points a game, 25 of 42 from the field, 5 of 12 from 3, and was just an unbelievable offensive player last season. Made 79 threes, shot over 42% from 3, and make no mistake about it, next season, Richie Saunders will be an all Big 12 first team caliber player, and I think
I'm going to stop that right there. That was Rothstein a month ago. I wholeheartedly agreed with it. Fast forward a month, and Richie Saunders is left off of John Rothstein's first team all Big 12 team. Can you help me make sense of this, Dion?
Yeah, so I mean, couple notes. First off, when Rothstein's with Rothstein following sleepers, I want to give him an idea for if Cart ever gets a nickname from him. He always says West Virginia is tougher than a long weekend at your in-laws. Carter Elliott, tougher than a long weekend at an all-inclusive resort. I think, or tougher than a long weekend at the buffet, something like that. Just throwing that out there, Rothstein. If Emmanuel Sharp is the best player on Houston, I think as a BYU guy, I'm sleeping pretty easy with our chances at winning the Big 12 too. I do believe a Houston guy should have been on it. I think he probably had the right one too. I think that's just kind of why I lean a little bit towards other teams winning the conference a little bit, and I'm a little lesser on Houston. Because I do believe what he was saying. I mean, you could have gone JoJo Tugler and Milos as well, obviously, and they're super deep with Chris and Nat. But I think Emmanuel Sharp being their best player kind of says something about the team a little bit too. Richie being left off the list, I think is just process of elimination, unfortunately. Like I think what he's saying is I don't believe in BYU's projection as winning the conference, and he's fair to think this, right? Because you and I mention all the time, we don't even know if AJ is going to be playing basketball in January, right? At least at the college level. So I jokingly, of course,
Jokingly, of course, yes.
jokingly, of course. Jokingly, of course. But like I think there people are hesitant to pull the trigger on BYU winning the conference or the Natty because some of the question marks about AJ DeBanta in terms of his commitment to the program for the full year, right? Like everybody knows he wants to be the number one pick. Is there going to be a point in time like does he have a sprained ankle that he takes the full 3 weeks to heal up because it betters his NBA prospects, something like that? And I think that's mostly what Rostin's saying in this is like, I don't feel comfortable enough saying they're the team to beat to put two people on the list. So I'm going to throw Darren Peterson on because I do believe Kansas could win. I'm going to throw Adrian because I think he's the best player. Emmanuel Sharp, JT Toppin makes sense. And then Haggerty's an All-American, so you have to have him on the list. And I really think that's all it was. It was just kind of like a process of elimination thing.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2K Labs or maybe college football labs because the people behind 2K Labs have just built something awesome. CFBLabs.com has everything you need to play college football 26 even better. Cart, you've been playing the game, right?
I have been, but I'm behind the eight ball, Gregory. There's a lot of people out there who got a little bit of edge on me, but the good folks over at 2K Labs got me covered. They got the playbooks I need, the plays, the head-to-head coaches, knowing some teams. Obviously, way too many college football teams. I need the inside edge here, and they got all different types of things to help me get that edge.
Yeah, I jumped in and started playing Road to Glory over the weekend, and I ended up like a two-star recruit that did not get one snap in season one because I chose the wrong school with the wrong roster that was way too loaded. Had I known that CFBLabs.com exists, I would have made a much more wise decision in my Road to Glory mode. They've got teams, playbooks, coaches, team comparison tools. You can literally see every single play in the game, every player in the game, their rating, what they're good at, all in one consolidated place online to help you make the right choices and win more games in college football 26. CFBLabs.com. Go check it out. Okay, so you ultimately don't have a problem with this. You can rationalize it. You understand it. Am I summarizing that correctly?
I think I would take Emmanuel Sharp off the list and put Richie Saunders on it, but I could understand why you don't want to do that because if you don't have a Houston player and you have two BYU guys, you're basically saying that's my pick to win the conference.
Okay, I also can understand it. I think if anyone else, and I don't mean to hold Rostin to a special standard, but also let's make it abundantly clear, John Rostin is special. He has a special standard because he's John Rostin. In my opinion, he's arguably the face of college basketball media right now. He's putting out some of the best stuff on a day-to-day basis that there is. So if this was I'm not going to name names. But if this was somebody that wasn't John Rostin, wasn't the caliber of John Rostin, wasn't already campaigning for Richie Saunders being so special a month ago, then this isn't a conversation because it's perfectly reasonable to have the exact five players that Rostin put together on his first team all Big 12. But where you lose me and why I feel this is worth a topic is because I'm going to talk directly to Mr. John Rostin, my GOAT, for just a moment. John, come back on the Richie Saunders bandwagon, my friend. I thought this was you and me together. I thought we were steering the ship on this. You made all the correct points a month ago. There's nothing, let's use a Kevin Young term for this. There's nothing hypothetical about Richie Saunders' abilities. He is not a potential all Big 12 player. He is a first team all Big 12 player. He was the face of the BYU team that went to the Sweet 16 last year. And reminder, Yegor Demon was there. Cannon Catchings was supposed to be a lottery pick. Richie Saunders was so much better than everyone else on that team. The season was saved when they realized that, and they moved everything towards Richie. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but John himself was right in June when he laid out all the reasons why it's a mistake to forget about Richie Saunders. He is the forgotten piece. He is the only returning first team all conference level player in the country anywhere that isn't being talked about as a first team all conference player again this year. And I understand the reasons why, but I disagree with them. And I agreed with Rostin in June when he made the case so eloquently, perfectly, that Richie Saunders needs to be on that team because he's a Big 12 Player of the Year candidate this year. So to bring it full circle, yeah, I don't want to say upset, but are we having this conversation because I want some answers from Rostin? Yeah, a little bit. John, don't leave the bandwagon. You made the correct case then. Don't lose it just because I got to pick someone from Houston. You don't. You can absolutely pick Houston to win the league and say they got 3 guys on the All Big 12 second team because that's probably what would happen here. Milo Suzon, Emmanuel Sharp, JoJo Tugler. Houston might win the league. They might be the most balanced team, and all 3 of those guys are on the second team. All 3 of those guys will not have the production that Richie Saunders has this year. It's not going to happen. So, to me, there's multiple ways around this. You obviously have to have JT Toppin on the team. No one's ever going to take him off. Although, if we're going to take Richie Saunders off, we might as well consider taking JT Toppin off. To be honest, Christian Anderson might be the best player on that team. I digress. I would personally put Peterson and DeBonsa on the team. I would, but I don't think you have to. And John himself mentions he doesn't normally put freshmen on the team. So it probably wouldn't be a topic for us if he had just put Richie on the team instead of AJ and Darren. But I digress. If we want to put those 3 in together, fine. You don't have to put PJ Haggerty on this team. Even if you think PJ Haggerty is going to be great, even if he was an All-American last year, PJ Haggerty at Kansas State is not a guarantee to matter in this conference at all. Jerome Tang has lost the benefit of the doubt with that. He's had talented players lead them to absolutely nothing in previous seasons. He will play, even if PJ Haggerty's numbers are awesome, PJ Haggerty will be playing unserious basketball all season, while Richie Saunders will be leading the driving force in production on a team with AJ DeBonsa on it. That alone should qualify you for this team. And again, the only reason I care about this is because I thought Rostin was the only other person on earth alongside me that viewed Richie Saunders in that light. So, John, from man to man, from follower to follower, John, come back to me. I'll welcome you back with open arms. Come back and hold my hand and let's lead the Richie Saunders bandwagon this year.
While you're saying all that, just learned that Cannon Catchings is at Georgia, and I just want to end this video telling him one thing. Good luck.